Welcome back to Heroes on Our Island. I'm Mike Stevens. We're coming to you this week from Patchogue. We're at South Shore Park. And along the shoreline here is the largest shallow saltwater bay in New York State. Heading east on the LIE now takes us to Riverhead, and Rich Barrabi introduced us to a group and its director that are determined to preserve the Pine Barrens region of Suffolk County.
Richard Amper has spent his career making his clients look good.
My education was in journalism. I ran my own public relations firm before coming to the Pine Barrens Society.
But for nearly 20 years now, Amper hasn't represented people or companies. Instead, his focus has been on one of the largest environmental regions in New York State.
The Pine Barrens Society was created 34 years ago by 3 college students who had discovered this wonderful place, the Central Park of Long Island, if you would. My job was to make sure that the public understood exactly what we have in our backyard as we pay 2.5 times the national average in taxes and deal with some of the worst traffic and air pollution and so forth going.
Dick is the executive director of the Long Island Pine Barrens Society. The organization has been representing and promoting the Long Island Pine Barrens region of Suffolk County for more than 3 decades.
We do have a Central Park, as I call it, of Long Island, about 100,000 acres that is really unspoiled, and where you can walk from Rocky Point in the northwestern portion of Brookhaven town all the way to the Shinnecock Canal in Southampton through trails that have been set up and never see a sign of human existence.
But preserving and protecting this area of unaffected land has not always been easy.
When I came to the Pine Barrens Society, there were 234 projects covering 43,000 acres in the Pine Barrens that would have simply turned the Pine Barrens into a piece of Swiss cheese.
Dick and the Pine Barrens Society fought tooth and nail in court to preserve as much land as they could.
By bringing the largest environmental lawsuit in the history of the state of New York then and now, we were able to stop that development and to work out an agreement, an out-of-court settlement at the end of the day that resulted in the protection of 54,000 acres that will never be touched and another 43,000 acres that can only be developed under specific standards and guidelines. So that was an extraordinary step for us to say, for the first time in the history of Long Island, the pavement stops here.
While other areas of Long Island continue to face accelerated development, the Pine Barrens region has largely been preserved. And as Amper showed me, the area is certainly unique.
So what we're looking at here are the pitch pines. These are almost an armor-like bark that can sustain the periodic wildfires. So this is a fire-dependent ecosystem.
But when walking through the Pine Barrens, you're likely to find a lot more than pitch pines. What kind of wildlife will we find in this region?
You know, you see everything. There are white-tailed deer. The people in the suburbs don't often see. You've got all kinds of birds and other plant and animal species. You've got turtles. You've got endangered species like the eastern tiger salamander. You've got the buck moth, which comes out just once a year.
Since the land is public property, the sights and sounds of the Pine Barrens can be enjoyed by all. This is accessible if people want to get out here and see this for themselves?
Absolutely. We just completed a trail guide that they can get by going on pinebarrens.org, and any number of places. We've got properties as long as the largest 5,000 acres that are completely unspoiled, and you can literally get lost in the woods.
Now, Amper can point out a whole host of reasons on why it's important to protect the Pine Barrens region. But he also says that it gives Long Islanders a choice, because for everyone who loves the hustle and bustle of New York City, well, it's just miles away to the west. But if you head east, you're likely to see some of the most exciting views that you won't be able to see anywhere else.
It's the best of both worlds. We want to have the benefit of being on an island, and our bays and beaches, our woodlands and our wetlands. All of those matter to us. We're an hour away, in most cases, for most Long Islanders, from New York, so you've got everything in the world that you could want from an urban setting. Surely you'd want to cherish and keep a place of the natural world.
And while preserving the region has clear practical advantages for Long Island as a whole,
you do want some area where the rain recharges that aquifer without picking up gas stations and septic systems from homes and dry cleaning establishments.
It also adds to the aura of the East End.
So many of the people that are have homes out east, they're second homes. And so they're coming from the city, and slowly but surely as they move further and further out, they see a more peaceful, a more natural surrounding. And when they get to the point where they see that sign, Pine Barrens region, they know they're in a different place.
While Amper and the Pine Barrens Society may be considered heroes by some, Dick is quick to point out that the real spotlight should be on the Long Island taxpayers, who have time and again supported preserving the Pine Barrens.
They are the true heroes. They have put up more money than 45 of the 50 states in this union, close to $1.5 billion. To protect this environmental treasure. And that's the result of their appreciation of the natural world.
And thanks in large part to the work of the Long Island Pine Barrens Society, Long Islanders are going to be able to enjoy that region for a long time to come.